All right, well, hello, North Creek Presbyterian Church. This is your weekly pastor's update, and I am here with Reverend Heather James, and she is our new transitional pastor, and I am excited to introduce her to you, or at least make the connection with you through this weekly update video. So Heather and I are here on this chat, and have a few questions for her that she can reflect upon to introduce herself to you, the congregation. And the first one, Heather, is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, North Creek Presbyterian, I'm so glad to be with you. It's a delight to be called as your halftime transitional pastor for this season, and I'm looking forward to walking with you as we move forward. I've been a pastor for about 25 years in the PCUSA. I've served primarily in the Puget Sound area, and I live currently in Tacoma, which is going to make this an exciting connection that we're making. I am looking forward to being able to work with you and to be able to listen to your stories and be able to engage with you in this process, even as our situation in the world today is a little bit different. I live in Tacoma with my daughter, who is 9, and her name is Hannah. And we have 2 dogs, Mari and Kai. And we live in a wonderful neighborhood with people that we know and love around us. It's been a delight to be here. I grew up in the California Bay Area and then came up to Washington State to do Fuller Seminary here in the Seattle area, and have friends and have even been in and out of your church over the years for different events and activities. So it's a delight to be here with you, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you better.
Well, Heather, you feel called to a particular kind of pastoral ministry called transitional ministry. So why transitional ministry?
I've been doing transitional ministry off and on for a good part of my career, specifically trained for this kind of pastoral transition over the last couple of years. I, throughout my call in the church, have been had the opportunity to serve in places, excuse me, life is happening behind me, serve in places that are going through difficult times, coming in a time of crisis and being able to help and assist. It was our stated clerk in the Olympia Presbytery who was looking over my resume a few years back and said, "You're doing transitional ministry. Like, would you like to continue to do that in a more intentional form?" And so we had the opportunity to go through the transitional ministry training and to be working more specifically with churches as they lead through changes in church life. Right now, that is taking the form of transitional ministry, for example, with you in a pastoral transition. But I also work with churches through a some consulting work, who are leading change and transition in a variety of ways for a variety of reasons. I have this deep sense of God's invitation to us as we walk through times of change and through these seasons, that we have the opportunity to trust God in a new way, to lean into our faith and to lean into our community with one another, and to be able to walk forward into the future that God has laid before us. And to do that with joy and with anticipation. So it's a delight to be able to help congregations find that pathway forward as they discern God's leading and what is next.
Heather, what do you love? What's something that you love about living in the Pacific Northwest?
I did my undergraduate work in Iowa. And I loved Iowa. I would go out and run in the cornfields, in the mornings, and it was beautiful and you could see the sun come up. But having grown up in the Bay Area, I was used to being able to get to mountains and get to water in a drop of a hat. And so I think that season of living in a different part of the country and experiencing something different helped me to find the beauty in that, but also helped me recognize that a part of how God meets me and how I receive rest and refreshment is through being able to get to the water, get to the mountains, those 2 things. And so I have loved living in this area. I love the opportunities to be outdoors, the kayaking and hiking and all of those things. and I love the kind of culture that we have in our area, being able to experience that with people, meet friends, and maybe not so much right now, but doing different things to be able to connect with nature and with the beauty of this place.
All right. Well, Heather, here's the final question, and it is for a refreshing hot beverage. What do you prefer, coffee or tea?
Coffee or tea? Let's see. I would say I probably split the difference. I think it's like before noon, a good cup of coffee, afternoon, a nice iced tea. That would be my split the difference. But I think at heart, I'm probably a coffee girl.
All right. All right. Well, hey, Heather, thank you for sharing your responses to these questions. And North Creek, welcome to the ministry of Pastor Heather. And we look forward to working together in just following the Lord's lead in this moment for this congregation. And we work with anticipation of the great things that God's going to do in our midst. And until we talk to you next, we will say goodbye.
Thanks.
Talk to you later, North Creek.
Bye-bye.